Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Baseball is hot in the streets. The Guard Dogs are in the playoffs as of today. So are the Cincinnati Reds. Mets, baby. We gotta talk ball. The Mariners. Senor Smoke, Andre Munoz.
Dalen Lyle, I'm fast.
You're fast. You're fast. I throw hard. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek, code Talkin 2025. There's less than a week of regular season baseball to be played. It's September 22nd. It's happening. I can't wait for you guys to see the standings, brought to you by Trevor Plouffe in MC Studio, back out west. We got to play together this weekend, Trev. Great seeing you. We didn't get our city night in. We'll earn that another time. How are you doing?
We need the city night though, Pop. We had a Jersey city night, but we need a city night.
And that's us. We're kind of being the clubhouse elder statement that night.
Yeah.
We're showing them the ropes. We're showing them how to operate. Tip your bartenders, people.
Oh yeah, I gotta tip them. I can't talk about a lot of things that went on because not like anything bad happened, but I don't want to blow people's spot up a little bit. Drew Davis, shout out my guy.
Wow.
A little bit right there. I had something I was going to say. It was going to be really funny, and now you got me off track with that.
Nice.
Happy to be home, though. Happy to talk some ball. It's been – I mean, you're talking about a roller coaster of a season. I felt like we have had that. But then usually at the end of roller coasters, it's like, all right, it's mellow. Like you get all the good stuff in the middle on a roller coaster. Not this one. Not this season. We're still going through the loops right now, Jake. We got 6 games left. It's insane what's happened. Super stoked for some fan bases, and I am super sorry to some of the other ones.
Yeah, there's going to be interesting Mets discussion coming up. How about the Cincinnati Reds, the Seattle Mariners with, their most impressive weekend in blank year ever? That there's a lot that has to be discussed. The AL wild card is insane. The Central, the Tigers had a 15.5 game lead in the division. That is down to 1 as we stand here today. Chris Rose's MF and Guardians have somehow done it again. For everyone tuning in, hey, thank you so much. Subscribe and all that good stuff. We're gearing up for the playoffs, which is our biggest grind. We go every day. There's playoff games. We're going to be live streaming. And if you just like ball, how about Bobby Golfs put out a video this weekend, all the triple plays from, what is it, last season?
Last 3 years.
And that's popping off. So we got more coming. It's go time. It's the playoff push. Pat Murphy's insulting his best players and inspiring them. We are right.
Kind of what he does.
Blue Jays pop bottles. Brewers pop bottles. Your Phils? The Cubbies? Clayton Kershaw.
Dodgers pop bottles.
Clayton Kershaw's last start at Dodger Stadium, ? Jesus, Coach. Let's sink our teeth in. And because it's Monday. Hit the music, Bob. Yeah. Yeah. How about we talk about the New York Yankees? They went down to Baltimore, and they won 3 out of 4. It started in impressive fashion. Max Fried, how's your 7 innings, 13 punch tickets most of the year for the Yankees? And it ended in dramatic fashion as Ben Rice baby, grand slam and extras. Yanks take 3 out of 4. They couldn't get past Trevor Rogers because nobody does right now. That's what happened there. A little hope in the division for the Yanks. The Guard Dogs, they face the mighty Minnesota Twins, and the Guardians take the first 3 in that series. You know why? It's impossible to score against them. That's been the recipe. Some of these Guardian stats are out of their mind. They won 10 in a row until they ran into the future. Brooks Lee, Royce Lewis, left side. No more fucking Twins talk. Sorry, kids. The Red Sox, they're in an interesting position. They took 2 out of 3 from the Rays. They win on Crochet Day as they open up that game late. They win on the next day as they open up that game late. Speaking of left side, strong side, Bregman and Story in this series. But young Connolly early, the young Irish Southsider from Boston. I don't know. The Red Sox lose the final game. Joe Boyle in the mix there. Brandon Lau, his 30th homer. We need one more. The Toronto Blue Jays, they actually dropped the series to the Kansas City Royals. How's your 20 spot? After we said Max Scherzer gets the playoff pill, he doesn't get out of the first inning. 7 earned runs. All the Royals put up crazy offensive numbers that day. They follow it up back-to-back. Witt and Pasquantino. That's how they win a 2-1 game. Blue Jays salvage the set. You know Ernie Clement was involved as they clinch going to the postseason this year. Snaps for Toronto as always. Detroit. Oh my God. They get swept by the Atlanta Braves. Our final words were handle your business against the Braves. They certainly did not. They lose 10-1 on that first game. Drake Baldwin with a couple homers. Ha-Sung Kim. And then on the final day, they lose 6-2. And it is getting dark in Detroit. Huge part of the conversation. Padres, they take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. Dylan Cease can't win his homecoming game. Padres end up taking the series. Jackson Merrill, Ryan O'Hearn, couple big hits in that one. Miami versus the Texas Rangers. Rangers, where'd you go? I miss you so. You ran into the fish. They've got another win streak going. Jansen Junk. Jacob Marcy will not stop. Troy Johnston turns on balls. And Otto Lopez, 3-hit day. The final series in the American League. It's time for your Road Warriors. Brought to you by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. The Seattle Mariners, standing on their business, they sweep the Houston Astros. It's a new chapter in the AL West. And part of it is because Logan Gilbert throws an unhittable pitch. Try to catch up to that split Johnson. J.P. Crawford, grand slam in the last game to seal the deal. Victor Robles is back making game-saving diving catches. And do you like the most home runs by a switch hitter ever? Because Cal Raleigh has done that. 58 homers on the year. The Seattle Mariners take control of the American League West and get it done on the road in Houston. That is what happened in the American League.
Pop, you're the best. You're the best. I like your shirt. Your hair looks good. And another great burn, as always.
Pay that.
I got the standings.
It's like the most important thing we're doing today, Trev.
We'll start out east, where the Blue Jays, yes, they clinched a playoff spot, but still need to clinch the division. They're 2 games up, 6 games to play for. I think every team is there now. We don't have any teams with double headers. I don't think. I was kind of looking at the standings earlier, prepping. My bad. Definitely not in the American League. So here we go. Blue Jays 90-66. Yankees 2 games back, 88-68. The Red Sox 85-71. I called them to win the division. They're not. It's not going to happen, people. It's just not going to happen. The Tampa Bay Rays 76-80, 73-83 for the Baltimore Orioles. In the Central, this one is a tight one, Jake. 85-71 for the slumping Tigers. 84-72 for the team. 1 game back for the team that has one of the worst offenses in all of baseball. It's insane. I love you, Guardians, so much, but what's going on there? 78-78 for the Royals, my Twins 67-89, and the White Sox 58-98. The Mariners, as you mentioned, a pretty commanding 3-game lead with 6 to go. 87-69 for them as they sweep the Astros. 84-72 for the Astros. They're still trying to get in the dance. The Rangers, yes, where did you go? 8 games back in the division, 5 games back in the wild card. They are packing their bags, ready to take a vacation. I don't know where they're going to go. It's fall. You can kind of go anywhere in the world right now. 79 and 7. It's not fall yet. It's still summer. 79 and 77, 73 and 83 for the A's, and 70 and 86 for the Angels. Now the wild card, Jake. Say it. They don't call it the mild card.
I'm not saying
Nobody
that.
wants that.
Not saying that.
Don't know. Pencils down, and don't say nobody call it
Pencils
wild card,
down.
right?
Pencils down is so out.
That's trade deadline.
So out. Yeah.
Because it's not even true.
It's just nothing.
Everyone has their pencil still after the trade deadline. Yeah. Anyways, we'll go to the wild card here. Yankees holding the number 1 spot right now. They're 4 games up. The Red Sox holding the number 2 spot. They're 1 game up on the Guardians and the Astros, who are tied for the last spot in the American League. So if the playoffs started right now, Houston would be out, by the way. Okay? They would be out.
Crazy.
The Guardians would head to Detroit for an AL Central freaking matchup. And I can't believe that the Mariners caught Detroit. Okay. Insane. They were planning their vacation during the wild card round. You're not having one now. You're not. Guardians would go to Detroit, and that could flip at any moment as they have a 3-game series. And then the Red Sox will go to the Yankees. So a couple interdivision wild card rounds if the season ended today. That will be awesome. Those are the standings in the American League. Pop, let's get into it. My gosh.
Trevor, well done per usual. And yeah, it's a different time of year. Padres, White Sox.
They know. People know, Jake. Let's get into the freaking meat.
I love it. Throw me down on the bed. Let's go east to west a little bit, because the East, I think the East is the easiest to check off right now. Yankees had a nice series in Baltimore, 3 out of 4. One of their better wins to end the series, and Max Fried looked really good. I guess in the landscape of what happened here, like Toronto loses to Kansas City, and that is what it is for now. Kansas, Jesus, Jake, you're running hot. You got me going, big dog. Toronto and Boston play this week.
Yeah.
Which is going to dictate a lot of, can the Yankees get in the mix to try to win the AL East? The Toronto has the tiebreaker, so it's essentially a 3-game lead or a 2.5-game lead, as Trevor and I have debated. But they all land with the same amount. Anyways,
that's why it's a half game.
I think we're going to have more AL East coming up at the end of this week, because we're going to know if the Yankees have a chance. The Yankees are playing the White Sox. So, like, if Boston handles their business in the Great North, the Yankees have an actual shot at the division. If they don't, it's going to change. If Toronto wins, then Boston's standing in the wild card is going to get different, as we now have the Guardians and Houston in the mix. So I went round there, Trev. I know you don't like when I do this, but where do we go from here?
This is the week. I don't know if this is the best week of baseball during a season. It's one of them. I think trade deadline is awesome. You can talk about opening weekend. I don't even really like that. It's just like, It's fun because we need it and we're just jonesing for it. But let's get real here. We're starting this. I feel like the season starts.
Going at opening weekend is nuts.
It's great. It's great. It's surface level great.
This matters more. It just does.
I think when you start to get to July is when you start, okay, let's hammer it in. Where are we? What are we going to do with the trade deadline? You got the All-Star game, great. And then August gets a little sloppy as teams kind of, they make some other moves. Some teams are in, some teams are out. But this last week, when we do have actual races, it's besides the playoffs, this is the best form of baseball we're going to get. Nobody gives a shit about their numbers anymore. We're all trying to jockey for position. We have some great matchups, thankfully. Good job, schedule makers. It's probably AI by now, but good job, computers. Yes, I have a question for you for the Yankees, because I'm genuinely interested. I was kind of going over the sheet and stuff. I think their starting pitching is in a decent spot, because you got Fried and Rodon, who've been awesome, and then Heel and Schlittler. What about the bullpen? Like, what are we doing back end wise there?
So
is it hot hand right now? Is it Bednar, Weaver,
So
Williams-ish. Like, what are we doing?
Bednar's been amazing. He is the closer. He's also gone multiple innings
Yes.
out of force with the Yankees. That he's the guy. Weaver's had struggles, but in the moments they've needed him, he's still been good. That he earned up a lot of leash for the Yankees. Devin Williams is in the mix. The Yankees are going to try to find him righty lanes. His righty numbers are still really good. He is going to pitch in postseason innings, a la Clay Holmes last year. Like Clay Holmes had his struggles. After that, it gets sketchy. So that's kind of where the Yankees are at. That who are they going to kick to the bullpen? And yeah, it's been a question mark throughout the year. That the lineup's been fun. They got shut down by Trevor Rogers, which we'll talk about in a little bit because everyone has, and that's crazy. But you're right. They're starting pitching. Some of the stats that have come with the Yankees has been, I think it's been the best in baseball for the last 43 games, but the Guardians might be changing that. I think if you need more Yankees, go check out Talkin Yanks.
I don't want any more Yankees.
Exactly.
I just wanted to know what the Boone's plan was with the guys at the back end of the bullpen. You didn't really give me anything. It sounds like it's going to be a hot hand-ish thing.
Gave you everything. Gave you the full details.
Okay.
Gave you everything. I'm not
maybe
sure
there
what
isn't,
else you'd want.
Maybe you guys don't have a lockdown plan. That's fine. That's kind of what I was asking.
Okay. Any Red Sox thoughts you need to get off your chest?
I mean, yeah, they got to make the dance. The more and more I think about it, we're talking about the Guardians and the Astros falling out of it. But, as I read the standings perfectly, I mean, they have a chance to not make the playoffs as well. So there needs to be some sort of push here from the Red Sox. I think a lot of, at least in my mind, I'm like, yeah, they're going to be in it. They got the second wild card, but they haven't run away with anything. They haven't really sealed the deal at all. So these last 6 games, I mean, there's 6 games for their life. And I think that's what's interesting about this type of the season as well, Jake, is some teams can set their pitching up. Some teams can't. Like, you gotta get there. That's very interesting to see kind of how teams, go about this week, especially the Red Sox. I think the Blue Jays, do they want to win the East? Do they want to have the bye? All these things, yes. But having already clinched a playoff spot, it softens the, what's the word I'm looking for? Softens the awareness. They're not fully in on this last week, whereas some teams like the Boston Red Sox have to absolutely go. So that's going to be a great series there. And I think really this comes down to, I mean, I guess there's so much to chew. I was going to say Guardians, Tigers, but you got to talk about the Mariners and the Astros too. There's a lot going on right now. Kind of all over the place.
Yeah. Let me, we're excited.
Yeah. I mean,
let me close the loop. And again, I gave some Yankees details because you asked, and apparently my answer was dog shit. But in Toronto, starting Tuesday night, Giolito versus Gossman, Crochet versus Scherzer, Bayo versus Bieber. And again, if there's a sweep either direction, that changes each of these teams' outlook significantly. If Toronto gets swept, the East is wide open, and after dominating the East for months, they could find themselves in a wild card, a la what just happened out west. If Toronto sweeps Boston is looking like they could be out of the playoff picture when they've been in for so long. So I guess I'm more so teeing up that series after what both teams did this weekend, and all eyes are going to be on that, where these teams and how we feel about them is going to change so much. And I guess the difference is, and where we should put the East in the rear view for now, because we're going to find out, the Central has happened live in front of us. We talked about it, and it was brewing, but we were like, okay, nice. Here come the Guardians, and will they get in the wild card mix? Trev, your Guard Dogs, who are a team that I feel like they used to torment me mentally, now they torment you mentally because you see them from the Twins' perspective, and you have to deal with Chris Rose regularly, who he doesn't even really like the Guardians right now. But here they are, the hottest team in baseball, and they control their own destiny.
They don't torment me at all. Like, I try to give them flowers regularly to Chris Rose. I'm like, look, man, like, I love that it's, I don't want to call him a cast of no names because that's not exactly true, but I love that it's next man up mentality. I love that, it's all about 1-run games for them. I love that they either get blown out or just barely squeak by in a win. Like, I think it's a lot of fun baseball. And, do they have Jose Ramirez doing his thing? Of course.
Yeah.
And if you have to have a guy like that, like, he's the centerpiece, everything goes around him, but it's all, I think it's fun that it's about their pitching right now, man. And it's insane. I talked about it. I think I already said this. Maybe we talked about this before the show. 27th in runs per game. Like, their offense, Jake, overall on the year. I'm going to give you some numbers, which is just crazy. They're 30th in average. That's last. There's only 30.
That's last place. And the Colorado Rockies have cemented themselves as one of the top 5 worst season ever.
29th in OBP, 29th in OPS, 27th in runs. They're also 27th in runs per game, 20th in homers. Like, they're not doing anything particularly well offensively except getting the job done when it counts. And maybe you move some runners, you get the big hit. You got guys that just, Stephen Vogt always says this, and whatever. Like, I think every manager says this, but it's taking that next man up mentality and rooting for the guy and passing the baton and all these things. And Cleveland does that. But it's the story of their late season surge has been the pitching.
Yeah.
28 runs in the last 18 games. 28 runs allowed in the last 18 games. Math-wise, quick math,
right?
That's under 2 runs per game. That's crazy. I played on a lot of teams, Jake, that gave up a lot of runs. I can't imagine a stretch like that. I really can't fathom going to the park and saying, we just need to score 2, guys. We just need to score 2.
When you give some backhands to some of your old Twins pitching staff, it makes me laugh.
It's not the staff, it's the front office.
Hello. Well, and clearly, as we're
Love
seeing,
you, Terry Ryan, though. Love you, dog.
Yeah, there's a lot of stats in baseball, and sometimes it can almost get confusing. 28 runs in 18 games. In the last 30 years, with this Guardians team, it's happened 3 times. The 2010 Giants, what did they go on to do? The 2017 Indians, who actually are now the Guardians, that's the only time it happened. Over an 18-game span, it's just kind of Looney Tunes. And I guess I like, if you give a stat, I like when you give something that puts it in perspective.
Okay.
In the last 18 games, the Guardians have given up 28 runs. Second closest on the list, the Chicago Cubs have given up 65 runs. That's the 2-hole. If you want a little more perspective, the Minnesota Twins
are
in last place with 119. Basically 100 more runs in 18 games. Now, if they weren't the Twins, would I have mentioned them right there? Probably. But the Guardians are pitching their dome out. And I know it's like, dude, it was a joke on this show that it was like, here's Parker Messick. He's gross, huh? The Guardians found another good young pitcher. He's been amazing. The Gavin Williams breakout that baseball geeks have been like, is it going to happen?
Well, dude, his stuff is filthy.
30 starts, a 3.06 ERA. It happened.
He's leading the big leagues in walks. This guy can get better.
And he's probably going to. They lost arguably the best closer in baseball to a gambling scandal. And one of their starting pitchers. Like, it's nuts, man. And, dude, they also, and I think if you follow ball closely, which is me just calling out our audience, 24 games in 24 days.
Yeah.
Like, that matters. With how much bullpens get used in today's baseball, teams wear that. And they just put together one of the best stretches of the baseball season, and they are sitting in the playoffs as of today, and they're about to play the Detroit Tigers, who are playing the worst baseball. They've lost 6 in a row. They have coughed up a 15.5 game divisional lead that if they keep struggling, they are going to be in that same conversation I just talked about where they could be out of the playoffs if they screw up this week.
This is such a fascinating series. Cleveland, you couldn't have a more, surging team and a declining team meeting at the right. This is everything that you want as an outside baseball fan. You could talk about Cleveland fans, Detroit fans. If you're just on the outside looking in, this is some of the best storylines you're going to get. Even the pitching matchups are amazing in this series. You got Skubal going for the Tigers tomorrow, but he's matching up against that guy we just talked about, Gavin Williams. Like, how fun is that?
Crazy.
Skubal on his way to another Cy Young. Gavin Williams, 25 years old, seemingly figuring it out at the big league level. They're going to match up against each other. And then I feel like you got to give it to the Guardians the rest of the way. We're on Tanner Bybee, who's had some excellent starts as of late, going up against Jack Flaherty, and then Parker Messick, your guy, going up against my guy, Cater Montero. I mean, that's also been a part, to transition over to Tigers talk here a little bit. Shout out Jimmy Norp. They've been struggling on the mound. A 5.32 ERA in September. They didn't really do a lot to address their starting pitcher needs at the deadline. Who did they bring in? They brought in Saltman, Charlie Morton. They just DFA'd him. He gone.
Charlie
that
Morton,
didn't work out.
Rafael
Chris
Paddock, Montero, Rafael Montero in the pen.
Finnegan's been great.
Paul Finnegan.
Sewald just got back. He's back. Like, that's bullpen stuff. But
right.
we're talking about a team that needed starting pitching, and everyone in the world saw it. And who's their guy? Harris, I believe, is their GM or baseball president, whatever.
Wow.
Box at paying the price. And, it's obviously come back to haunt him. He has a quote saying, they were asking about, someone asked him about like the Tarek Skubal window. Like, isn't it important now to push all the chips in? Which, look, we wanted Bregman to go there.
Yeah,
we wanted him to go there.
Eugenio Suarez was rumored at the deadline for.
They haven't pushed the chips in. He said the window. That's an illusion. That's not a real thing. It is a real thing. Tarek Skubal being on your team and then not being on your team in a couple of years. That's a real thing. Unless you fork up $400 million, which I don't think they're going to do. So that means there is a Tarek Skubal window. And if you can't see that, maybe you and I mean, we always talk about going into a front office. Tigers, we saw that. We know there's a window.
Call the Orioles about their window. Call the White Sox about their window.
Look, has some of the offensive stuff come back down to earth? Yes. Yes, it has for the Tigers. It's been the pitching that was the problem at the deadline. They addressed the bullpen, which, that's been one of their strengths. They got more bullpen help. They haven't gone to pitching chaos yet. Is that going to happen? Like, what? Go get some starters. Merrill Kelly would have been great for you.
Ooh, I know, right? Texas. Like, that's one of the crazier things. All of that being said, we've seen the ups and downs of baseball this year. We've seen it with Cleveland, who's been one of the most volatile teams we've ever seen. The Mets have been one of the most volatile teams we've ever seen. That Hinch, who I've been very complimentary of this year, he did say, hey, like, if you told us before the season that we were going into the last week and we were in first place and controlled our destiny, you'd sign up for that. If you told him the rest of the details, I don't know if he would have. I don't know if he would have. But they got Scoobs on the mound. They win that first game, and it would give them a 2-game lead. But that's Toronto and Boston. Like, this is corny. And, I follow a lot of college. I follow every sport. My first AOL username was Sports Jake. That's it. I follow college football a lot and the expanded playoff. And was that going to hurt the sport? It kind of brings in more pseudo-fake playoff games. Like, yes, the top teams, you get to survive losses in college football better. but you bring in other games that matter more. In this week, the Tigers in Cleveland and Boston and Toronto are pseudo playoff games that are going to dictate the rest of their week. Because think about this. What if Cleveland rolls them? Okay, so Detroit's fighting for the last wild card. Now they have to juggle their Scooble usage because, okay, are they guaranteed a wild card game? Because then you're not using Scooble on one of the last couple games of the season because you need them for the wild card. If they are going to be in the wild card, now you're not using Scooble to sit. And this is a debate the Yankees are doing with Max Fried right now. It's the logistics of it are getting very tricky. We kind of didn't see this or at least with the top tier teams, it felt like they could line up their rotation and it was set, and that should be an advantage. Right now, I just don't know. But those two series, like you laid out with Cleveland and Detroit, we've got 2 playoff series this week, Tuesday through Thursday.
Tigers, here's a pep talk for you. Just be the same as the Astros. That's all you have to do. You own the tiebreaker. You're a game ahead of them right now. They're also reeling and feeling very poor about themselves. All you have to do is keep pace with Houston, or even be one game worse than them. You just can't keep nosediving. That's the only thing. You'll make the playoffs if you just find it in you to play like reasonable baseball.
Well, and the other, I know baseball doesn't work like this, but it also does. And you need your best players to ball out, and like Riley Green in a big slump, and Kerry Carpenter, you need the dudes to step up. So then you can have all those other guys contribute. And that's where Jose Ramirez is fucking insane. Third curse. I'm sorry.
You didn't even earmuffs that one?
No, man. It's no time for it.
No time for earmuffs right now.
And dude, you want to talk about time for something? How about the Seattle Mariners? We talked a couple weeks ago, them, Texas, and Houston, they were all in the same pot. And then it's going down to Houston, and we've seen this script, right? Not this time. Seattle lays it down on them. Brian Wu, who he's got a little pec thing going on. Let's keep eyes on that. But they shut him out in the first game, and they get 4 home runs. Naylor, Robles, Julio, and Suarez. Yup.
Coach, this was a bloodbath.
This was a bloodbath.
This was not even close. Don't even I guess, if you looked at the box scores, you're like, oh man, it was where is this now? It was 6-4 and 7. It's like, no, this was a bloodbath. Okay. You mentioned the first game. Brian Wu does his thing. They shut him out. 4 solo homers. Awesome. And then in game 2, I mean, they're up 6-0.
Right.
And Jeremy Pena hits a grand slam. Great. Got it within 2. Great. You were losing. I mean, there was just the Seattle Mariners stood on business. Is that what you said?
I think I said that. Not sure.
Is that a Marshawn Lynch thing?
I don't know. I can Google
I don't
it.
think I should be talking like that.
Who first said
and then in the last game, they're up 7-0 in the second inning.
Yeah.
This is... The Houston Astros are in trouble. It has coincided, whether you want to believe it or not, with the Framber Valdez stuff. He's looked like crap since that all went down. They bring in Carlos Correa, who should really solidify kind of what's going on in the clubhouse. I don't think even a guy like that could handle that situation. I think it's a mess, Jake. I do. I think the play has been bad. I think the vibes have been bad. And I think obviously there's been some injuries. It's all bad. The Houston Astros do not have it right now. And am I going to be wearing that when they freaking end up in the ALCS again? Probably.
Could.
But it just really doesn't feel that way right now at all. There's nothing that you can take and say, good vibes. This seems fun.
Yeah, hey man, Jordan being out again is crushing. If you look at their pitching, Josh Hader, I still have him as the bad man, and I think he is. Arrighetti, who's had moments for them. Garcia, Blanco. Wasn't that like, I know every team has their injuries, but these ones feel like they're catching up with Houston. And yeah, you're right. At the same time, and this is the chaos that we're in, you know, if it's Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez in a 3-game wild card, that'll do.
I don't have Framber Valdez in that anymore. I don't have him in that anymore, Jay. He hasn't looked that way in a long time.
It's true, but also I think October still matters, and I think I just seen him snap too many curveballs at people's back foot in October. They get past them. I don't believe right now, but the other thing that needs to be said, in that game too, you mentioned it's 6-0. Pena grand slam makes it 6-4. Victor Robles, who, talk about an interesting career. This guy was patrolling center field with the Nats that won it as a 20-year-old. The stick was never really there, gets cut, goes to Seattle, balls out for a little bit, mini extension, gets hurt this season on a tough injury. Yeah. In the minor leagues, throws a bat at a pitcher because he's having a bad time out there. He makes a game-saving catch, Trev, that when you talk about, I mean, he's not in the picture for a lot of that shot. You're hoping Julio has the Superman cape on. Here comes Victor Robles out of right field to make a game-saving catch, which, think about everything we're talking about with these win streaks and these losing streaks, and momentum matters. We're clearly seeing this. And what if this turns into a loss? That ball gets down, it gets past the right fielder, and Houston salvages the set or changes the whole narrative of the series. Instead, you dunked on them. I could only imagine the locker room after that game. Like, we just won the series. We made a game-saving double play diving catch in right field. The vibes are immaculate, and you've got a catcher that's doing something a catcher's never done, that a switch hitter's never done.
We got to get into that conversation now?
I don't know, Trev.
I don't know either, because it's taken a back seat, hasn't it? At least in my mind, I'm focusing on teams and playoffs, but here's Cal Raleigh, who I said if he has to win the MVP if he breaks Judge's record in the AL. That is my take. Is that your take as well? Because we gave Judge the MVP over Shohei,
right?
Because he broke the home run record.
My dry take, if he gets to 60, I think he's going to win the vote. Like, the vote still comes down to people. And hey, like, Yankees fan, some Judge's stats are insane.
Yes, I acknowledge all of that 100%. I am a Judge truther as well. I'm anti-Judge fatigue.
And where some of the stats lie, like I had a couple conversations at the warehouse. I think the vote still comes down to humans, that like where the numbers land is going to change things. Like that 6-0 will feel different than 59, which is pathetic, but it's just true. And man, here's what I'll say. With all the numbers we do have, being a catcher's different. That I don't know how to quantify it, man, because no catcher's ever done this. No catcher has ever done this. So I'll be honest, like if someone, I think there's a lot of smart baseball people that are like, Judge, you know, how good Judge is offensively, like he's the MVP and it's not a conversation. And I'm a Yankees fan, and maybe that's right. You can't quantify taking 2 foul tips off your body every night. Like you can't. So if you say you're a Cal Raleigh vote, I don't fight you on it.
I'm in on the catcher thing. I'm not in on like Cal Raleigh means more to the Mariners, because I don't believe that's true at all. I think Aaron Judge means just as much, if not more, to the Yankees. Like they go how he goes. That's the bottom line. I want, for reference, I know what kind of year Judge had, and what year is this? In 22. That was when he won it over Ohtani. I understand what kind of year he had. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. 62, 131,
right?
A 1.111 OPS. He absolutely mashed. It was an incredible year. I think was he playing center field that year as well?
Yep.
So like awesome. Ohtani, not his best offensive year, still 34 and 95, had an 875 OPS, but he He threw 166 innings with a 2.3 ERA and a 1.0 WHIP. Like this guy was
right.
He should have won the MVP.
Yeah.
Like no, he should have won the MVP. Stop. But we gave it to Judge because he hit 62. Right. No, we didn't give it to him. I hate saying that. Like I'm not putting Judge down at all. But my thought process was the guy just broke the AL home run record, maybe even broke the actual home run record, if some people consider it that, without PEDs. If Cal Raleigh hits 63.
Oh, I mean, that's game over.
I don't think it's not 60 to me. It's not 60 to me.
I need to see. I think the actual numbers will change how people like. Does Judge land his batting average at 330 or 323? Like, I genuinely think this is going to come down to almost human error. And again, like, as much as I was being nice to the Cal Raleigh, and if you want to believe that, I can't fault you. Like, Judge's OPS is it's in a different area code.
So 1-1-2-3 right now.
And Cal's at 949. That, like, we're talking almost 200 points of OPS.
And so Cal doesn't pitch.
Cal surely doesn't pitch.
He catches the pitches.
He does. I'm interested to see how that plays out, but more so either way, I think the long and short of it is such snaps for the Mariners. Logan Gilbert's splitter has like a 1.11 batting average against. George Kirby goes 6 shutout. Like, it's all there for Seattle. And Trev, this was a corny take I had on I think I said this on Wake and Jake a few months ago. I think their baseball players are clutch. Like, I know we've gone far away from believing in that from baseball, which is dumb, by the way. But like, I think Randy Arozarena is clutch. His playoff stats have shown me that. I've seen Cal Raleigh have a lot of late big inning hits. I think Naylor, I think Suarez have stones, dude. And I think Julio, he's shown this second half who he is in the standing of the league. That you talked about the deadline, what they did there. Crazy impressive stuff from the Seattle Mariners.
I feel like we didn't even really get into the Jays. We got to keep this thing rolling.
Yeah,
really get into the Jays.
It's going to be a big Jays Red Sox Friday.
Okay.
I think we got to get to the NL where the Cincinnati Reds and the Mets will be the topic. But they said go west, young man. So we will. The Dodgers face the Giants. They take 3 out of 4. Yamamoto, 6 walks but 0 earned runs. Okay, learn from Snell. Clayton Kershaw's last start at Dodger Stadium, him on the field by himself, pretty cool. Dodgers take that third game. Shohei opposite field power is just silly sometimes. San Francisco does take the last game, and Trinan gets some real boos from the Dodgers fans, which, holy cow. Dodgers take 3 out of 4, standing on their business in the NL West. You know who is? The Cincinnati Reds 4-game sweep the Chicago Cubs. This is one of the series we're going to talk about, but Hunter Green, 9 innings, shut piece. The boys were bopping. Spencer Steer with a 2-homer day. Tyler Stevenson homer. Gavin Lux. Cincinnati is here. Wait till you see where they are in the standings. The D-backs take 2 out of 3 from the Phillies to keep them alive. Corbin Carroll goes 30-30 with a nice crop of players this year, including a big home run that helps ensure them the final game. Phillies won the first one. Otherwise, it's D-backs there. Some interesting Phillies quotes. Maybe we get there. The Mets and the Nationals. We're going to talk about this. The Nationals take 2 out of 3 after the Mets put up a 12 spot in that first game with everybody hitting and the Sproat Goat on the mound. They lose in extras to the Nats in Game 2, and they lose on Sunday 3-2. Jacob Young making catches that you just don't see on a baseball field. It's getting late in Flushings. Been there. The Cardinals take 2 out of 3 from the Brewers, and it is what it is. The Brewers won the middle game. They do clinch winning the division. Snaps for them, as always. Arenado gets some applause. That's nice. Pirates take 2 out of 3 from the A's. I'm sorry, everyone. That's just not happening right now. And same with the Rockies taking 2 out of 3 from the Halos. They passed the White Sox from last year. They will not be the worst team ever, but close. Kyle Freeland, nice start. That is what happened in the National League.
You're the best there is. You say Sprout Goat. I don't.
What do you mean?
I don't love it.
Nancy Reagan. People forget.
What?
Google it. Google it. Google it.
Oh my! Keep politics out of here. I got the standings. Yeah. Pop will start out east, where the Philadelphia Phillies obviously have clinched the division. They were 12 games up as of today, 92-64 for them, 80-76 for the Mets, 76-80 for the Marlins, the Braves 73-83, and the Nationals 64-92. I can't wait to ask you about something later on the show.
Okay.
Just reminding me.
Huge.
It's going to be at the end of the show with awards. Love it. In the Central, they also have a clincher here in the Milwaukee Brewers, who are 95-61, 7 games up on the Cubs. 88-68 for the Cubbies, who clinched a playoff spot. 80-76 for the Reds, who we're going to get into a little bit here. Cardinals, nice try, I guess. 76-80. I like their team. It just, they never got over like mediocre. I thought they could have. They never hit that stride. It is what it is. 67-89 for the Pirates. Out west, Dodgers have not clinched the division yet, but they have a 3-game lead over the Padres. 88-68 for them. Padres 85-71. I believe the Padres can clinch tomorrow. They just need, it's the magic numbers down to 1, I believe, for a playoff spot. The Diamondbacks 79-77, still in the mix. 77-79, the opposite of the Diamondbacks for the Giants and the Rockies, 43-113. Let's get to the wild card in the National League. Jake, the Cubs own the top spot. They're going to own the top spot. They will be the number 1 seed, I believe. There's still a chance. Padres, number 2, 87-71. They're 5 games up on the last 2 teams. It's the Reds and the Mets tied at the bottom for the last wild card. The Diamondbacks 1 game back. I'm not going to mention the Giants. I'm not.
Yeah.
They're 3 games back. Marlins 4 games back. I can't start. I can't keep going down the line. It's like when you're at a party or having a party, you're like, I got to invite this person. But if I invite him, then I got to invite this person. It ends up being a shit show. Just don't have parties, people. Those are the standings. But wait, if the season started today, excuse me, I forgot to do this. The Reds, because they own the tiebreaker over every single person that's coming. So, like, they should be considered a half game up.
Sure.
Put it that way. They'd be going to LA, and the Padres would be going into Chicago. That's, like, set. The Padres should just, like, set their hotel already, get ready for that series. It's the real Eddie Vedder Bowl. Those are the standings in the National League. Let's get into it, Jake.
Let's get into it. It's all brought to you by Caldera Lab. Arguably Trev's favorite partner of ours.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be saying that. Sales team might be mad, but Trev uses it all day. It's why he's so beautiful. The good, the eye serum, the base layer. Take care of yourself, people. And these skincare products are skincare products made for men. It's not overly complicated. There's not questionable ingredients. And it, like some of the others, well, Caldera Lab, they deliver. And like I said, the good, the eye serum, the base layer. That's what you want. Men who use Caldera Lab products reported noticeable improvements. 100% said their skin looks smoother. That's pretty good. 96.9 saw an improvement in skin hydration and texture. I'm going to throw something out there. I bet the other 3% got confused what those words meant. And I think it happened. They just didn't know it. Skincare doesn't have to be complicated, but it should be good. Upgrade your routine with Caldera Lab. See the difference for yourself. Go to calderalab.com/talk and use code TALKIN at checkout. 15% off your first order. Trev, do you want the Reds or you want the Mets?
Ooh. Let's go Reds.
Let's go Reds, because that's a little more exciting. The Cincinnati Reds are back in it after a 4-game sweep of the Chicago Cubs. There's a lot of, there could have been a lot of standout performances from this series. The Reds are in the playoffs as of today, and like you mentioned, the tiebreaker, the Reds are at the party, Coach.
They own the tiebreaker over everybody, like literally everybody. I think there's one that comes down to interdivision record. I think that was with the Mets. They beat the other teams, so head to head. But then there's one that came to interdivision record, which they have in spades. So they're good. If they finish tied, they will be the team to get in. That's massive with 6 games to play. But this is a team like I feel like the entire season. What have we been saying about them? Like they could be pretty damn good. Like I like their roster. The starting pitching is awesome. Back end of the bullpen, they're kind of figuring it out. Like Emilio Pagan, what? Okay.
Yeah.
We just never got to the point where like this is a team. This is a team. And now I think we have it's now or never.
Yeah.
That we get into it. They've had an interesting season though, Jake. First, some stats on them as far as like playoff stuff. 2013 was the last time they made like a non-COVID playoff. They got in it in 2020. And we thought they had a really good chance there. We liked their team. They ended up getting swept, didn't score a run in that set. So if you go back to the last time they were actually in a non-COVID was 2013. Last time they won a home playoff game, 1995. The fans are great in Cincinnati. They're starved for a winning team. And I really want the Reds to get in because I do think what we've been saying about them all year is correct. Let them in the dance. They got some starting pitching that could kill you, man. They really, really do. And if you're, I was going over a bunch of articles, reading up on the Reds, and a lot of times this was mentioned. I think Jose Trevino said this. He said, what kept us motivated was that we kept hearing from teams that, damn, we wouldn't want to play you in a 3-game set. Damn, we wouldn't want to play you in a 5-game set. So that kind of like made them believe in like their roster. And you kind of look around like it's true. Like they have the things to get the job done, like in these playoff series. And I want to see if that's actually true, if that's just stuff that we think of in our head. On August 19th, they were 67-60, Jake. Things are looking good. They lost 16 of the next 24, dude. And that's when I believe a lot of us, a lot of the fans, this show in particular, probably gave up on the Reds, saying, it's going to be another one of those seasons for the Reds. Because that's what we've seen from them. They haven't really given us, they're not like the Houston Astros who we say, they're inevitable. They haven't shown us. The track record isn't there. And they really haven't done anything spectacular as of late. They're 10-5 in their last 15. Pretty good.
It's good.
It's not Cleveland Guardians ball. But here's the thing. The Mets have just struggled. 4-11 in their last 15. That's how they've made up all these games. But yeah, if you're talking about a team that has starting pitching, they're like the Dodgers in that where they've had to kick a bunch of guys to the bullpen because they have too much starting pitching. Nick Martinez has done an excellent job going in and out of the rotation. They put Chase Burns back there with him. He's electric. He's got some real nasty stuff. Profiling him out of the bullpen, it's going to be, it's not a sure thing, but he's got elite bullpen stuff. He's not going to be there long term, but for the playoffs, my goodness. And then you got the dogs in the rotation, man. Imagine going up against a guy like Hunter Green, throwing 1,000,000 miles an hour, nasty wipeout slider. The next day, you got to face Andrew Abbott, the complete opposite. Like it's so like this team is so fun, man. I don't know. There's just something about him. I think they brought in the right guys at the beginning of the season. Trading for Gavin Lux, I think, was cool. Brady Singer, even Trevino himself. Like these guys have playoff experience. I think that's important to like bring guys like that into the clubhouse. Now I know these guys aren't like aging veterans or anything like that. They're still younger guys, but they do have that experience. I think that's super, super important. I don't know, man. There's just the roster's fun. They brought up one of their top prospects in Sal Stewart. He's been hitting the ball well. Like they've kind of done all the right things this year. And I hope they get rewarded for it because I would like to see them in the playoffs. They wouldn't be hosting a series, but maybe they'd get a home game in the next round if they were able to get through that wild card.
So Spencer Steer had a massive weekend, and it's been the offense. Like Ellie De La Cruz hadn't homered since before the trade deadline.
It was July 31st, I think, was his last home or something like that.
That's insane. There's been weird different standouts at different times. Like you look at Andujar's stats, he hasn't really been playing too much, but like they need performances. And Trev, you you accidentally pooped on opening weekend earlier this show, and that's fine. But I told Rob, do you have the Tyler Stevenson homer? Because our guy Tyler Stevenson hits an insurance homer. Little Oppo Johnny, Trev. And, okay, hey, this is a little bit of a Cincinnati hitter ballpark home run. But watch him round first. Like, tell me these games don't matter more.
Oh, of course they matter. You're talking about this is...
Well, it was what you were saying before, that it's not supposed to be shots fired. Like, look, it's packed stands. It's late in the game. It's Kittredge on the Cubs. To go Oppo, to put your team up like that, like that's a feeling a lot of these young guys haven't felt before.
Yes. It's special what's happening there. Again, I think they have an interesting bullpen.
Yeah,
I will say that. But if you can kick the starters back there and get some of that, I think that's really important. Again, like a guy like Nick Martinez being able to kind of be your Swiss Army knife, I think is really cool. What Emilio Pagan's been able to do. They have guys. They have guys that can get it done. Do I trust that bullpen more than others? Like if I had to rank bullpens going into the postseason, they'd probably be near the end. But sometimes that doesn't matter. And in the playoffs, it takes two guys to get hot. That's it.
And if Hunter Green goes 9 innings, 1 hit, that's a pretty good bullpen outing. They've got an interesting next week. They have Pittsburgh, but they do have a Skeens day, so that'll be interesting. And then they finish at Milwaukee, which Milwaukee has been a bugaboo for them the past 80 years or so. So that'll be interesting because Milwaukee will also have the bye, which, Trev, you remember from last year, if you have the bye, you still pitch your good pitchers.
Yes.
Because you essentially
but
line
short.
them up.
4 or 5 innings.
Right, but you still get the best bullpen guys because you kind of want them to get their last throw day in. So that's going to be very interesting, what we see in that series. Get through Pittsburgh first. Trev, the other biggest story in the National League that I gave you the option, the New York Metropolitans, who got off to an amazing start. We started, these are new Mets. It's a new owner. It's a new guy running it. These are the new Brewers.
The Brewers with money.
The Brewers with money. And things have fallen apart. They've lost 11 of 15, 35 and 52 since mid-June. And here we are watching the Nationals make trick shot, dude perfect warehouse challenge type plays against them that have Mets fans just...
Let's relax on dude perfect and the warehouse a little bit.
I won't.
I don't see many plays being made like this. I'm sorry.
Right, that's what I'm saying, bro. Jacob Young put on an absolute show yesterday, but I mean the Mets are kind of the story here, Coach. They're out of the postseason right now. It's
crazy, and I'm trying to go back in my time machine and think about what we were saying about the Mets, because they did start out 45 and 24, and Griffin Canning was the best pitcher in baseball.
Wow.
And we're like, how did he go from the worst pitcher in baseball to the best pitcher in baseball? It's like, are the Mets just that? Are they that guy? Are they that guy that can just take the scrap pile and turn them into elite pitchers? Turns out, no. And they've dealt with some injuries. He had an Achilles injury. I mean, maybe that was the start of all this, because he went out. When did he go out? In June. That kind of right around when they started failing. Griffin Canning goes out. Tyler McGill ends up being injured, and the guys they brought in just haven't really got the job done. So that's been, I think, in my opinion, the biggest issue here is starting pitching hasn't been good. A lot of times, you need to rely on them throughout a season, at least, for a week or 2 weeks. Like, man, our offense isn't going to be there. Like, can our starting pitching step up? It just hasn't for them at all. So they invested in the bullpen at the deadline. Halsey hasn't been good. Cedric Mullins, who they brought over to play center field, hasn't been good. So really it's like, okay, what has kept them afloat? Juan Soto being great's kept them afloat. But the offense in general, there's a few guys that have also followed suit, but it's been a very, very subpar team for quite some time now. And they've been riding that hot start to the season. And then if you look at the standings, you're like, okay, they still have this lead and all these things, but it's been, I guess I'll call it a slow bleed for the Mets. I think that's an accurate way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird because Soto's been incredible. Pete's been incredible. Lindor's been good. That it's like, okay, that, man, you're just looking at this pitching right now. And I said this, what team was I comparing this to? That I said this, I think, the last episode, that sometimes there's teams you look back on like 2 or 3 years later as a baseball fan, and you're like, holy smokes. I think I said this with Houston, and that's what's happened. Like, Houston fans in a couple years are going to look back at this current team and be like, what happened? I think Mets fans are entering this territory where it's like, okay, so we had our studs. We had 3 rookies taking the pill every 5 days. That was a really cool thing a week ago. Not so cool right now. I don't know. I don't know, Trev. They're going on a roadie to Chicago. We're going to be there. Oh my God. I haven't put that together yet. We're going to be there. We're doing a live show before the game on Wednesday. So that's going to, at the DraftKings Sportsbook, that's going to be a wild scene. And then they head to Miami, which over certain years has been a house of horrors for them. Things are looking Metsy, which we thought we were away from that.
For me, we can go to this series with the Nats and you go to game 2. And I think we might look back at this, because it's going to be still in recent memory. And I think we're going to look back at this inning and say, what the hell did we just do? Look, Soto comes back, game 2, 9th inning, single up the middle, ties the game. They have a chance to win it there, a couple strikeouts, doesn't happen, fine. But you go, and the Nationals can't score in the top of the 10th. You get a bunt to pop out. James Wood grounds out. C.J. Abrams strikes out. Boom, bam, boom. Here we go. Now you got Starling Marte on second base, and you got Luis Angel Acuna at the plate, who should know how to bunt.
Right.
Like, that should be part of his skill set. But we don't bunt during the season because we're scared of giving up outs. But then we get into a crucial point of the season or a game where you need it, and we just haven't practiced it enough. And I've told you this, like, if I'm a team, and our team that we're going to run one day, like, we're going to give up outs during the regular season. I'm sorry. Like, because we're going to get real game practice with this, so we don't pop up bunts like this where Starling Marte, people are saying he should have been on third base. He can't go to third base right there. The catcher should have caught the ball. Acuna probably should have been out right there. I don't really know the rule on that. He gets in the way of the catcher. The catcher still should have caught that ball. Marte didn't do anything wrong right here. You can't, ball gets popped up, you got to go back to second base, and then pitcher's on it. Like, I think he might have even been thrown out at third base because the pitcher looked at third as well. Like, he did a good job of that. But you got to get the bunt down. All you got to do is see it down. Doesn't even have to be a great bunt there. He's going to get to third base, then you can win the game. Doesn't happen. Francisco Alvarez, next batter, double play. And, like, it's the little things like that. They don't score. Next inning, Diaz. This is another interesting thing. They don't send Diaz back out there. They bring in Rogers, who's been great. But you know how I feel about side slingers, right-handers going up against left-handed bats. Dale Lyle laser off the left center field wall as an inside the park homer. It happens that fast, man. You got to get the job done. You had the Nationals dead to rights. All you got to do is put a bunt down and score the runner from third base. And you can't do it. Simple baseball stuff like that could cost them their season, Jake. And can you imagine? This is another thought I had. Say the Mets don't make the postseason. One of the biggest spending sprees we've ever seen in the sport in the offseason. One of the biggest payrolls we've ever seen in this sport. And all of a sudden, the Reds are in the playoffs. The Brewers are in the playoffs. Like, what does that do for like the salary cap thing they're going to bring up inevitably in 2026? I love that. I love thinking about that. Like, the parity's fine.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. The bunt thing crushed me. We need to do it more during the season. Give up some fucking outs. So in the big time games, we know what we're doing. But I was watching that. I said, oh man, that's bad. Bad for the season right there. You can't win that game against the Nats. No offense to them, but you had a chance there and you didn't do it.
I'm excited to see the next pieces. Because if they win enough this next week and the Reds don't, they could still be they could still be flying to LA. If they don't, the Mets conversations for this offseason are going to be pretty interesting because they did spend a lot of money. Some of it wasn't the money we thought they were going to spend. And Montas on the IL right now. Clay Holmes is in the bullpen. I know Manaea just came back and maybe he has a heroic start to end this thing, but it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. Trev, what else in the National League? There is stuff. I have some Brewers stuff later. The Dodgers Kershaw stuff was cool, but as far as we stand in the National League right now, I don't know.
It's another huge week. I mean, the Diamondbacks are right there. I'm not going to give the Giants a shout. I mean, if the Diamondbacks sneak in with the deadline that they had, I mean,
what's that mean?
That'll be one of the wilder stories of the year. They traded away their guys at the deadline, and here they are. I mean, they're one game out. Again, the Reds hold the tiebreaker against them, but there's a chance.
How many games had they pissed away this year?
Many. Colorado Rockies game comes to mind. I mean, we watched them do that over and over and over again, like just 8 spots, giving it up, then scoring 8. They were a wild team to follow this season.
They've got the Dodgers, Shohei Snell, and Yamamoto, so they're going to have to earn it.
I do want to say this about Kershaw. Awesome night. It was really cool to see. I thought they did a really good job with everything. I love that Dave Roberts took him out after striking out Devers. Like, get him out of there. Like, the start was fine. Get him out of there. Get him an ovation. All that good stuff. Good. We talked about, is he going to get a postseason start? And I didn't really think about this. Because the Dodgers are going to be in a wild card series, like, he's going to get a start. Because they're going to have to throw their guys in the wild card series. Right. And then the next series starts right away. You can't really you don't want to bring those guys back on short rest like that. Like, I think he's going to get a start.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how they, we talked Emmett Sheehan to the bullpen, or how are they going to navigate that whole thing. But yeah, and it's also, Clayton had a very solid year. 106 innings, a 3.55. Like, could be a lot worse of a situation that, and his playoff history has been well documented. But yeah, a really fun night for Dodger fans. Go check out Chris Rose talking to Clayton Kershaw. A lot of good casual old man and actual old man stuff there. And yet the Diamondbacks, let's see. Go make it messy. I have another thing on the Phillies, but I can save it for later. I think we keep it moving, Big Daddy.
Okay.
Let's keep it rolling into standout performances.
It's time for Standout Performances.
Standout Performances.
Standout Performances.
This guy stood out for Trev.
Say what?
Standout Performances are brought to you by Shady Rays. Get yourself some sunglasses. The sun's still out. Trev just told you it's summer. And we've got you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays, why do we like them? We've been partners for years now. An independent sunglasses company. So they have so many options. You get the perfect choice for whatever your outdoor adventures are. And Every pair is backed by their lost or broken replacement. If you don't love your shades, exchange for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. And exclusively for our listeners, this is what I like. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code TALKIN, 35% off your next pair of polarized sunglasses. That's code TALKIN at shadyrays.com. Go get yours now. Where are you going, Coach?
It's not summer right now.
Today's the last day.
I just Googled, is it still summer?
No
and says,
way.
no, it's not still summer. Astronomical fall or autumn began on September 22nd, 2025. It's September 22nd, 2025.
Technically, it ends at 2:15 p.m. today.
Okay.
It's still summer.
It's summer.
Until 2:15 today.
Girl for the summer.
All right. My standout performance goes to a guy who has got the best name in baseball, maybe Nacho Alvarez Jr.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Tiger fans like, fuck you, bro.
Yeah.
Earmuffs. He went 3 for 4, 2 homers, 3 runs driven in on Saturday. And man, it was a big day for him. Spencer Torkelson thought he was going to be the hero there. They'd been grinding. He puts them ahead finally. A 2-run homer in the bottom of the 7th. We're going to win this game. Nacho Alvarez is like, nah, top of the 8th, I'm going to hit a solo homer to get it within 1. Top of the 9th, I'm going to tie the game with a base knock here, make it 5-5 before Jerks and Profar goes and puts us ahead. So, look, the Braves, who've been playing a lot better baseball as of late, and we've talked about that, that's like snatching the soul out of a city right there. I mean, the place was going nuts. Spencer Torkelson gets the job done, and then Nacho, the very next inning, cuts the deficit down, then game-tying hit. It's fun, man. You don't want to be in the position of spoiler, but also playing spoiler is fun. So shout out Nacho Alvarez Jr.
He's I hadn't watched a lot of Nacho live since the Yankees played the Braves coming out of the All-Star break. He had a great series, so I was surprised to see that these were his first home runs in one game. Awesome name. And yeah, man, he really did. He devastated a city for a day. Nacho. Interesting offseason for that team. We'll get there when we get there. And another team that I've had paired with them all year is where I'm getting my standout from. Trev, it's going to a Trevor. Trevor Rogers. So Trevor Rogers came back midseason, and he's been good. Do you know how good? Because it's crazy. Trevor Rogers, 17 starts, a 1.35 ERA, a 0.872 whip. Pitched against the Yankees, who have the best numbers against left-handed starting pitching, and mowed them down kind of effortlessly. This is the guy that we said, whoa, Orioles, what is you doing, baby? You traded away Kyle Stowers. Trevor Rogers, in 17 starts, if you're into WAR, which I know is a debate we have on this program sometimes, Trev, Paul Skeens, Christopher Sanchez, Tarek Skubal, and Hunter Brown. I mean, those are probably your 1-2, 1-2 in Cy Young voting in the AL and NL. Skeens, Sanchez, Skubal, Brown. I guess AL may be a little up in the air. I guess this is the point. We still use WAR for a lot of accumulation of stats and an image of how to show how you're doing this year. Trevor Rogers is 5th in starting pitching WAR. It's Skeens, Sanchez, Skubal, Brown, Trevor Rogers. Now, do I think he's had a better season than Crochet? I don't. But the whole point is Trevor Rogers has accumulated these kind of stats in 17 games. These other guys have 30-plus stats, and they consider what Trevor Rogers has done more valuable than Andrew Abbott, than Crochet, than Freddie Peralta, than Pavetta. It's nuts what he's been doing. Get him ready for the Cy Young draft next year. And he's a part of the reason that the Orioles have been above 500 since June 1st and looking like the Orioles team that we thought they should have been. For how good he's been, I know there shouldn't be a ton of Orioles talk this episode. he deserves to be talked about.
He's the statistics on him and like his four-seam fastball are pretty insane. That's got an 18 run value right now. Guys are hitting 156 against it. I read an article about him. I don't know. It was like last month or 2 months ago or something like that. And I was looking at like trying to figure out like what the hell has changed. And basically he said, I got stronger. He went to drive line and they told him that compared to other pitchers, he's well below like strength wise. So like you need to just strengthen your lower body. That's why you're having fatigue issues with your back and they're causing these mechanical issues. So you get stronger, we'll clean up these mechanical issues. And all of a sudden, I mean, look at the hell this guy's done, man. So that's a good lesson in life for anybody. Like, get in the gym.
Get stronger.
Here's life lesson 101. I guarantee your life will be better if you go to the gym regularly. I guarantee it.
Got to work out. If you're not working out,
guarantee it.
It doesn't have to be lifting heavy. Be active. Yeah, man.
Lift some weights.
Lift some weights.
Lift some weights.
Lift some weights. Be active. Lift some weights. You're gonna like the results of it. Okay, that was an interesting spot to land.
So true though.
Trev, you were mad I didn't allow you to give it to Hunter Green because, again, he deserves to be mentioned again. Max Fried got a shout-out earlier. Jorge Barrosa's first career homer.
Obviously.
You always want to talk Dalen Lyle. Pasquatch went 4 for 4. I'm hoping we're seeing some of these cats on En Fuego.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
En Fuego is brought to you by Corona, the official cerveza of Talkin' Baseball.
We'll start with the Sears. Alec Boehm, welcome back, dog.
Yeah.
8 for 13, 2 doubles, a homer, 4 runs driven in. Spencer Steer, we talked about him, talked about a little bit of Sal Stewart as well. He's kind of been mentoring Sal. That's nice for him. 3 for 10, Jake. Oh, that's not that good, Trev. All 3 of them were homers. 5 runs driven in. He has 21st homer of the season on Sunday. He surpassed his season total from 2024. You got to love that. He became the first Reds player to record 3 consecutive seasons of 20 homers since, you know this one, Eugenio
Suarez.
Anything with homers and Reds, just go to Eugenio or Adam Dunn. That's my take on that. Drake Baldwin, who like sneaky has had just what a season for him. Love that. 5 for 12, a triple, 2 homers, 6 runs driven in. We got weird stats here, but I'll read them anyway. He's slugging .662 on low breaking pitches this season. Don't throw it down there in the honey hole. Everybody knows that.
No. Lefty.
He also has an OPS of .767 with 2 strikes this season. That's second best in all of baseball among hitters with at least 234 plate appearances. So, a decent chunk. Hitting with 2 strikes, important still. Stephen Kwan, 7 for 18, a double, homer, 6 runs driven in Cleveland's series against my Twins, who stink. It's okay. For the week, Yandy Diaz, what's up, dog?
Yeah.
13 for 22, 2 doubles, a homer, 4 runs driven in. He had 9 walks, though. Welcome to the 100 career homer club, Yandy. I am the gatekeeper. Welcome. Since August 1st, he has the second highest average in baseball at 352. Qualified batters with 300 average and 25 homers this season. Aaron Judge. George Springer. And Yandy Diaz.
Yeah.
Gotta love that for him. Pete Alonso continues the mash, 10 for 21, a double, 3 homers, 5 runs driven in. How about Carter Jensen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the guy that's from Kansas City, right? Was in the stands in 2015, I believe.
Yeah.
I saw his first big league hit. Awesome. 9 for 23, 4 doubles, 2 homers. He batted leadoff for the first time on Friday. In the first inning of that game, he became the 4th Royal to hit multiple extra base hits in one inning. They won 20-1 that game. So shout out. Tyler Heineman pitched that game. We didn't even mention that. How about that? Ronald Acuna Jr., 11 for 26, 2 homers, 4 runs driven in. He also walked 9 times over the week. Corbin Carroll, stud, 9 for 25, 2 doubles, a triple, a homer, 7 runs driven in. He became the first D-backs player in history with a 30-30 season. The 4th player this season and the 76th 30-30 season in MLB history. This year, there's been 4 of them. I'm going to name them now. Juan Soto, Jazz Chisholm, Jose Ramirez, and Corbin Carroll. That's awesome, man.
Good crew.
I wasn't going to give Jazz my award, but I found a new one, Jake.
Uh-oh.
So be ready for that. Can't wait to hear your take on it. That's who was in Fuego.
Thank you, Trevor. If there is a team or a report that comes out after the season that your team held on to a prospect instead of trading for Yandy Diaz, that's a mistake. I'm not reporting anything. I don't know how it went down, but if your team had a chance to trade for Yandy Diaz and you didn't go get him, you messed up. I'm a big advocate of do what the other team doesn't want you to do. That's a good way to coach sports. When I see Yandy Diaz up for the other team, bad things happen. That dude is a stud. Trev, I will bring down the program, as I tend to do. And we'll do that with batters that are struggling.
Hey man, you've been struggling lately. It's time to pick it up!
We've got a collection, mostly younger guys and one old bull. Victor Scott Deuce for St. Louis, limping to the finish line, 1 for 24. You know, the bat's not really why he's out there, but we're going to need more than that, Vic. Josh Lowe, man, he's a ball player I really like. He's had a weird season, 3 for his last 40. Struggling with the fastball, Trev. Get the velo machine going. What are we doing? Isaac Collins for Milwaukee, who's just been nails for them all year. He's in a 2 for 24, struggling with the elevated fastball right now. Milwaukee's playing time this postseason. It's going to be some interesting decisions to be made. Wensiel Perez. God, Wensiel. He's had such a good season for Detroit. They need him. 4 for 44, 0.95 with runners on base the last 2 weeks. That's the worst in baseball. Gonna need that. And then I mentioned one old dog, Jeff McNeil, in a 4 for 36, slugging 0.43 with 2 strikes. That's the third lowest in the NL over the last 2 weeks. So when you're on batters who are struggling, that means we're trying to get you to Fuego. So let's see who can do the flip. The other bad news, the IL, we are really up against it. If you got an IL update, that could be it for your season. And Yordan Alvarez with Houston might headline it. The left ankle, supposed to be out for the playoffs. If there are playoffs or there's a chance for late, it's a really brutal year for one of the best hitters the game has ever seen. Brandon Woodruff with a right lat expected to be out for 2025, which that is a big blow, man. You bring up best pitchers in the last 5 years, and you're going to find Brandon Woodruff's name high on the list. That is a big blow for Milwaukee. Let's see, who else is on here? Chris Bassett out for the regular season. Eligible to be activated from the shelf on October 3rd. Which would allow him to be back for the DS. Interesting. Michael Kopech for the Dodgers, right knee. Kind of unofficial for the year. Colt Keith, right rib cage, out for the regular season. So, yeah, man, I mean, other dudes on here, less playoff implications. Lucas Erceg, Matt Wallner, the Minnesota Moose, right oblique. Send the text, Trev. Zakaloff, Nolan Jones, Pablo Lopez, tough breaks. But we do have a couple people returning. And how about Alec Boehm, like you mentioned? He's back, and he ended up on Fuego. Love that for him. Kyle Finnegan's back for Detroit. Let's see. We've got A's Max Muncy. And one of the more electric players we had this season, Wheeler Abreu, is back for Boston. That matters.
Yes, it does.
5-tool wheel here. Let's see what he and how he can impact their final games of the season. Isaac Paredes with a Hail Mary comeback for Houston, DHing for them. So we are in it, folks. Those guys are back. Let's start everyone's week the right way.
Awards!
Great seeing Kels and great seeing DraftKings. This week's episode is sponsored by DraftKings. The season is rolling. the NFL season, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You boys 3-0 and are against the spread league this year is what it is. And if you're looking to get in the action, do it with DraftKings, because if you bet just $5, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly and score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code JAMBaseball. That's code JAMBaseball to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Coach?
Yeah, look, I got an award here. By the way, great job for whatever you just did right there. I wasn't really listening because I'm trying to formulate an opinion here. And that's kind of my award. I'll call it still formulated an opinion award. There are things in life where sometimes, I think everyone wants to just know everything right away, especially in today's age. We have cell phones. We have basically, especially with AI now, just world knowledge at your fingertips. Right. So everyone wants it right now. What do you think? And then once you make that decision, this is what I think. We've talked about this on the show quite sometimes. You can change your mind.
Yeah.
There's this one guy. His name is John Sharkman. Okay. It's not his real name. His real name's Tom. He's he runs like a toy company. I met him in Minnesota. Fascinating individual. He played quarterback at St. John's University. So I know you like that. See, yeah. I knew you were going to give that reaction right there. Okay.
The Johnnies.
He put on his Instagram. So I think he was doing like some interview. He's like, I think one of the most powerful things you could do as a person right now is admit that you're wrong and change your mind. Think about how people just don't do that anymore. Right. It's like you fight to the death with your, oh my God, you're getting it up. Robbie, this is insane. You can play the clip if you want.
Wow.
You got fucking 3 heads. It's one of the most powerful things you can do. It sounds counterintuitive, but it is, because if you believe that now, go with it. Don't hold on to some vestige of something you used to believe. And I think that's what gets people in a rut a lot of times, is they don't want to admit that they changed their mind.
Right?
Wow.
Isn't that good life advice?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you think something, maybe you hear some different facts, maybe you just change your mind. It's okay to do that. I think society needs more of that, if we're being honest, okay? Something has me in a freaking pickle mentally in the big leagues. And I already put my stance out there on the internet, and I don't know if I need to take it back or not. I'm still digesting information. The Marlins at the big league level are now having their pitching coach or the assistant pitching coach call pitches from the dugout. Jansen Junk and Liam Hicks working in tandem were getting their pitches called from assistant pitching coach Alan Leichman. Now, this is something the Marlins have done all through the minor leagues in 2025. So this isn't something they just came up with on a fly. They've been doing it in the minor leagues, and they've been having talks about doing it at the major league level. And they said, yeah, let's just give it a whirl here. And it was, when I saw it, it was very jarring to see that at the big league level, because, these are professionals. You go over scouting reports. Jimmy has the whole thing, keep paper out of baseball. I also, you see it around the league now. I was calling a Twins game, and the pitcher, every pitch was going like this, and looking at the scouting report in his hat on what to throw.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, that's number one, you're showing everybody your scouting report. If you zoomed in on it, you could probably just decipher everything in there. Number two, isn't that what pregame meetings are for? Don't we want our athletes to study and then go out there and just play the game? Do we really want guys every second looking at a sheet of paper? I don't. Jimmy surely doesn't. I don't really know how you feel about it. You don't really care.
I don't.
That's fine.
I don't need it. I mean, yeah, it's just a certain point. If you're dedicated to your craft, wouldn't you want to go into the game knowing that, yeah, okay, this guy doesn't like the inside heater. This guy does, I don't need paper in baseball.
I first got a taste of this with the Phillies in 2017, I think it was, or 18, excuse me. And teams have done it before where the hitting coach has a book, and it's has just the scouting reports for each pitcher. The Phillies during that season had a book, and it was basically all the managerial decisions. if this guy enters the game in this situation, this is who you should pinch hit. So I would go look at this book like, is my name green or is it red in this situation? A lot of the times my name was red, so I knew I wasn't getting used, but certain times it was green. I was like, this is weird. Like, the decision's already made. Like, this doesn't seem right to me. Like, isn't that what coaching's all about? And, so like those things have become very, very commonplace. Coaches calling pitches is not commonplace. Mike Scioscia did it a little bit. I'm sure there's been other instances where we just don't even recognize or realize that it's happening. You'll see guys in the dugout doing like this whole thing, whatever. Mostly that is for pickoffs and, used to be for pitch outs, stuff like that. To see a pitching coach relaying signs to the catcher and the catcher calling those, very college. It's very college. And the big leagues is kind of being infiltrated by a lot of college tech, college practices. And I don't know how to feel about it. I don't like it. I don't, my initial reaction to it was, I don't like seeing Liam Hicks having to call what the pitching coach called, because isn't that part of the game as a catcher? Like, if we have ABS coming next year,
right,
and teams, which, mark my words, this is going to be throughout baseball shortly. What does a catcher do? If you don't have to worry about catching and framing anymore because you can challenge, and then you're not even thinking about sequencing or anything like that because your assistant pitching coach has it, what do you do? Is that position going to end up being what we thought it was going to end up being? Just a bunch of sluggers, and hopefully you can block the ball a little bit. Like, no, you're not. No one's throwing base runners out anymore, so you don't even really have to do that. Guys are just stealing at will. So we're just going to put big boppers back there now. So like, there's ripple effects to all of this. But I just don't know how to feel about it, man. Like, my initial reaction, I saw this on Pitching Ninja, was the first thing I saw, and I said I absolutely hate it. And you can see all like the old heads in baseball, like Shane Victorino was there as well, being like, what the fuck are we doing? Earmuffs. But I reserve the right to change my mind, because I still haven't really formulated a huge opinion on this. And I don't know, man. I wanted to highlight it. I thought it was interesting. And I guess I kind of want to hear what you have to think about it too.
Kinda. Man, I'm a fan of my team playing well. So, like, however we got to get that done, that I think players need to be comfortable with what's happening. And I think sometimes we get far away from that. So if you've got a pitcher out there who doesn't care, like a lot of pitchers, like I have super respect.
This isn't about the pitchers. This is more about the catchers.
Right. But we've brought it into the pitchers' hands too. We've got a lot of old dogs that are now calling their own games because they're saying, screw that.
There's very few pitchers that do that anymore. Like the Twins, for instance, only 3 guys on their pitching staff have their own call.
Right, but I'm saying everything's on the table right now. And if you want that and you're a pitcher that's going to feel good about your day and the catcher's cool with it and the team's cool with it, do that. If you're a pitcher out there that just wants to get the call and you don't care if it's coming from a coach or the catcher or whatever, that's fine by me. Where the catcher position goes, I think that's the part that got my ear the most, because it's the most prideful position. Think everything we talked about with Cal Raleigh. That was give me my follow-up to you. If Cal Raleigh was getting pitches from the dugout, does that diminish the way we look at him as a catcher? Not for me, because I mean, there's still discussions and decisions that have to happen before the game, I'd assume. And like, you still have to be back. Like, you still got to do it. You know why I perked up? It wasn't fully because of St. John's. We got a couple Johnny's fans in the office. I have to dunk on them during basketball season. Go Huskies. I'm more so perked up from the fact that you're like, he played quarterback at St. John's. Like, anyone that plays a level of college quarterback, I'm like, hey, you got to be back there and be willing to have a large human just truck you over. So that's kind of that's where my head tilt came from. That if you're a catcher, you got to be behind the dish and the ball's coming at you. And if they foul it off and it hits you in the balls, you still got to squat back there for the rest of however long that inning is. If it catches you in the shoulder, you're going to have a bruise for the next 2 weeks. And we don't calculate that. So I just think it's interesting. You know, we still get a ton of managers that are catchers, that if we do start taking more of that part of the game away from them, Trev, I would think we're going to see what we've seen happen with analytics in baseball is that everyone sprints in one direction. Hey, let's get that meathead with a cannon behind the plate because we don't have to care as much about framing and blah, blah, blah. We still will because ABS won't cure all of that because they're going to limit how many times you can do it. But I think you would see the article 4 years later being like, catchers are going back to calling pitches and being more in the game and having more of a leadership role. Because I think that's just been proven over time matters in baseball. So I don't know. I want the players to be comfortable with what's happening. And I'll tell you what, if my coach called a pitch that I didn't necessarily believe in and that got rocked, I'd be a pissy little fire ant.
Well, he had Jansen Junk, by the way, great name
Crazy
for a pitcher, had a great start, and he, in fact, did throw more junk in this game. Changeup usage way down. Now, there was a lot of right-handed hitters in the lineup, sweeper up, but that's also, I'm curious to see, like, what would the changes be? Like, what is the coach seeing in real time and then what's the catcher seeing in real time? So it's a very fascinating part of the game, and baseball, usually slow to change. It hasn't been that way as of late. I feel like we've been making changes a lot lately, Pop. And again, initial reaction to me, not great. And now I'm thinking about it. Let me like marinate a little bit, and I'll get back to you. And we all could change our minds if you learn some new information or just sit in some thought with it for a little bit. That's my award. Shout out John Sharkman.
Shout out John Sharkman. I grew up with a John Sharkey. Good guy. And yeah, maybe there's fun stuff that comes. Maybe there's just pitch calling gurus out there. Maybe teams have fun with it. Maybe it's like, hey, Greg Maddux is here. Why don't you call it for a day? Let's see what you got. I don't know if that'll happen, but we'll see. Trev, I'm going to give out the Communications Major Award. I mentioned how big of a sports fan I am. You watch a lot of...
Sorry. Chris Rose is like yelling at me.
Yeah, we rolled. The Communications Major has become a kind of a running joke in college sports. That's kind of like the athlete major, right? It's been that way for years. We've got some communication going on with a pair of managers that I'll send us out with. One, and it's one of these weird things. We never know how much managers matter. Should we have shouted out Terry Francona more with the Reds? Probably. I think so. The Phillies that have become, one of the standards in baseball of where we'd like to be. We had some weird quotes. Castellanos and Rob Thompson. Castellanos came out. I don't really talk to Rob all that often. So that's just, I play wherever he tells me to play, then I sit whenever he tells me to sit. Communication over the years has been questionable, at least in my experience. Whoa. I think there's a lot of your teams that if that happened, that's like a drama show. Rob Thompson comes back. He says, as far as the communication part, not only Nick, but anybody else in the clubhouse that doesn't think I'm communicating with them enough, I'm probably not. I got to do a better job. That's just being accountable. But there's two ways of communicating. That door is always open. I'm not a mind reader. I can't tell the future. I'm not a mind reader. So I urge the players. I want players to come in here and tell me what's on their mind. But yeah, obviously I have to do a better job. So you get the full Phillies treatment there. You get Castellanos kind of critiquing his manager while his manager critiques himself while also kind of going at the players. That it's everything Phillies right there. Like, it's all on the table. We got a bunch of alphas. And hey, does it matter? Does it not matter? If the Phillies have a bad postseason, I bet we'll talk about it a lot. If the Phillies have a great postseason, I bet we won't. Another manager who's been one of our favorite storylines this season had an interview come out that I'm just going to have Rob play it because it's more all over the board than what we just talked about.
So what do you say to him, either in the dugout immediately or after the game?
Nothing. I don't say anything because I know who Sal is. I know how that killed him. I know why the mistake was made.
Mm-hmm.
But I rarely say a nice word to him. I told him earlier this year that he needs to stop doing the crosswords. He does crosswords every day. You need to do some applications for grad school because you're 5'9", 170 pounds. You're not going to be in the league very long. You need to get an MBA or you're not going to be very successful.
So that was Pat Murphy. Maybe I should have teed it up better. That was Pat Murphy talking about Sal Frelick One of the Brewers' best players this year, on the best team in baseball, one of their best players this year, Sal Frelick. That's his manager talking about benching him. He benched Sal Frelick for missing a relay throw. Again, I watch a lot of Yankees baseball. If you got benched for missing a relay throw, the Yankees would have to bench a guy every other night. Sal Frelick got benched for missing a relay throw. Their second or third highest position player in WAR this year. He goes on to compliment Sal. He says, I know that killed Sal. He knows the mistake, and he's going to come back and be better about it. He then goes on to send a silly jab at Sal Frelick, saying he's 5'9", 170. He shouldn't be doing crossword puzzles. He should be applying for jobs because he's not going to stick in the majors. If you know anything about sports and coaching, you know this is motivational inspiration in a way. And it's also, when Pat Murphy got this job, we told the story years ago when we went to the Brewers game, the famous sausage race where Jimmy pulled his hamstring. Pat Murphy was like the punky bench coach. Like, he was talking about to Rowdy Tellez. Rowdy Tellez had a game-winning hit where he hit a double down the line, opposite field. And Pat Murphy was like, Rowdy, you got beat on that pitch. Like, what? It's like, I had the game-winning hit, dude, and you're making fun of me? He said he's told Rowdy he had an elephant swing for how slow it was. Pat Murphy's an interesting man. Whatever's going on in Milwaukee, part of it is with Pat Murphy and part of it is with that organization. We didn't get to talk about them a lot today. I think the Brewers have their 5th playoff appearance now since 2018. Is it their 5th division win? It's their 5th division win since 2018. 6? What Milwaukee is doing. It's 5. I added this year again. As a smaller budget team, as just a well-run organization. They lost Craig Counsell. In come Pat Murphy. The guys that are doing it on this team seem to change every year, but whatever they're doing works. And Pat Murphy needs to be studied in a lab because that is crazy. You're 5'9", 170? Should be applying for gigs? It's one of your best players. That's where I'm ending the show today. I hope you guys had a fun one. It was juicy. So juicy, Trev had to leave. We will see you Wednesday, a special episode. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. We love you. I stink. This Rose is mad.